after this an actual altcoin run? Is that possible? I mean, obviously, we know who the altcoin winners are going to be right now, right? It's going to be Solana. It's going to be Sui. It's going to be these projects. You might see Kaspa in there as probably one of the only proof of work options that, well, Litecoin, because Litecoin has the ETF potential, right? So Litecoin's pretty much a given to run with the altcoins. Solana's a given to run. Sui's a given to run. I don't know that. I mean, like smaller cap, like, and I know Caspa's not even really smaller cap anymore, but I think Kaspa could run. Do the smaller crypto, even smaller cap cryptocurrency proof of work coins run? Maybe a few, right? Maybe there's some options like the Zealous, for example, and then I think that's maybe about it. I don't see, Ergo really, unfortunately, from a trade analysis perspective, doesn't look good this altcoin run. And I get that that's because of an unfavorable charting pattern on CoinMarketCap, but regardless of that, that's what people see. And so I think people will tend to stay away from Ergo, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong as far as that goes. It's just the nature of the beast. I know that was tried to be corrected, and I think CoinMarketCap even added a note to that. Let's go ahead and check that, right? I think they did update a note. Yeah, so they do say that data before July 1st, 2019 depicts the Ergo first year token, a community token on a different blockchain. Post-Ergo mainnet, the token was exchangeable with ERG using funds from the Ergo Foundation's treasury. Now, the problem, right, was that we didn't see... This was from the previous bull run where it hit this price. And then it didn't break that all-time high from the previous bull run in the 2021 bull run on the chart. And regardless of even if they clarify as to why, which was the token funding round, even if you clarify that, the API isn't pulling that data, right? And so I think that this chart will scare a lot of people off, unfortunately. So that's kind of what I would be watching out for, as far as like, I wouldn't stack as heavy into Ergo. You want it to run. Yes, of course you do. I do. But we also have talked about, in the past, the problem with, in particular with Ergo, and just the amount or the lack of liquidity in their DeFi market right now. I mean, obviously it's not as bad as something like Hypera, which Hyper probably has zero chance, right? Ravencoin has a better chance, because I'll show you the chart there. If we go to Ravencoin, Ravencoin has a better chance, because if we go to their all, right, you look here in the 2018 range, right, when it launched, its peak was at like 5 cents, and then it did hit the 2021 peak of 20 cents, right? And so you could say that based on this chart, more traders will acknowledge Ravencoin in general, and maybe put some funds flowing into Ravencoin, because it's been a solid project, right? And that's kind of what I look at, when I'm saying, okay, what based off of previous runs are people going to be looking at? And like Ethereum Classic would be one that people look at, because obviously, once again, 2018 cycle, and then of course the 2021 cycle. So things that look like this have a higher chance of being invested in, because there's more faith in those projects based on the charts, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. Now, newer projects don't have any of that, right? So they have to run completely off of hype. So we don't have any idea. Here's the thing, like the safer bets are multiple cycle altcoins, right? Ethereum Classic, Raven Coin, that sort of thing that have charts like this. Obviously, we told you why Ergo doesn't look as good in this particular case, but at least it's been around multiple cycles as well. Things like Zealous, things like Kaspa, things like Alephium, we don't have that historical data. And so traders don't have that historical data either. So it's really kind of up in the air as to how much inflows those particular projects will have from liquidity. And I don't know what those will be. I don't have the answer to that, right? So if you want to play it safer, you want to look at multiple cycle projects.
Does not mean the Fear and Greed Index can't go to a 5 or to a 1. It can. Just like with Solana, doesn't mean it can't go 3 standard deviations lower. But just based on trends, buying Solana today is like buying Solana around the 2022 lows. Just something to consider. Big news for community coin Foxy. Proud to be included in the MetaMask Cashback Rewards program in collaboration with Ethereum L2 Linea. Spend your MetaMask debit card and earn Foxy rewards, meaning MetaMask is launching a debit card. The people behind MetaMask are also the same people behind
I saw that.
Linea
it is
Build.
KYC,
Actually, the
though.
people I'm referring to is Consensus, and just in, the SEC ends investigation into Consensus, but very similar to how Coinbase backs their ETH2 base, funnels all their users into Base. MetaMask looks to be funneling all their users into Linea, with Foxy being the main community coin on the ETH L2.
Okay.
The most recognizable crypto wallet in the world is powered by our Fox. Any and all people trading, do not forget to set your stop losses, set your take profits. That's what.
So what is Foxy listed? I assume obviously DeFi right now, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. Is this going to be the right Foxy? I suppose so. So it's at 0.2 of a penny right now. Just an idea.
What makes you a pro trader. Also, it's always interesting. Anybody that
if they made you, so if it's like Crow, right, where you have to have a certain amount of it to lock up to utilize the debit card, then that could drive price. Obviously a manipulative tactic, but it is something that's been successful as a tactic for crypto.com and others, right? Base does it a little bit differently, but we'll see where it goes, right?
thinks they're a pro, thinking, I'm doing this right, I know the right trades. Check out the copy trading section on BitUnex. And
the copy trading stuff is extremely risky, so be very careful with that one. I know MEXC had that for a while. What was the other one? I did have a sponsor for a little bit that did have it. I just want to put the warning out there. The one, you're in a centralized exchange, right? And centralized exchanges are failing left and right all the time. So keeping your funds in there to copy trade is a risk, because they could go illiquid and then you can't get any of your crypto out. But in addition to that, you're also dependent on a third party to operate all of your trades. The easier things are to do, the less likely it is that you should do it. That's what I've found in crypto.
you can become a lead trader and earn 10% share of your followers' profits. Of course, it's a double-edged sword. If you follow somebody and they lose money, you lose money. If you follow somebody and they're a good trader, then you make money. But anybody that thinks they're a good trader and wants to earn extra profits and have people find you and you're a leader and people copy you, link down below, check it out. And like always, see you tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, so to me, I didn't really learn from this video, unfortunately, why it crashed. I don't necessarily believe the narrative that the trade wars enacted by Trump are causing this particular crash. To me, it looks like, and I'm just going to say it, it looks like the previous cycles. I don't see any difference here. You can say it's some macro, there's some macro factor, but you can always say that about the performance of Bitcoin. You can always point to something that could maybe be related. But unfortunately, like, I'm not seeing this this smoking gun of Bitcoin not still following the traditional halving cycle, right? I'm just not seeing it. I don't see evidence of that right now. I do see evidence of the mass increase in amount of Solana tokens having a negative impact on the altcoin runs, right? And the performance of altcoins. I do see that. That is something different this cycle, because usually by the time we get to this correction phase, we have already seen some altcoins run up to previous all-time highs, and we're not seeing that, right? ETH should have hit a previous all-time high by this time in the cycle, and it didn't happen. And I think we're just not going to see the same altcoin performance numbers that we've seen previously, just because of an oversaturation of those tokens. And thanks for the reminder, Papa Lip, that 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Make sure you guys go like the video from Altcoin Daily, since we did watch it. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.